You wake up, your net worth is $1,200,000,000, $1.2 billion, and you can't afford breakfast. Not because you're broke, not because someone stole your money, not because the stock market crashed overnight, but because your $1 billion, it doesn't actually exist. Not as cash, not in a bank account, not anywhere you can touch it. Let's start with something nobody tells you. When Forbes says someone is worth $10 billion, they are not saying that person has $10 billion sitting in a bank account. They are saying that if you took everything that person owns, their company shares, their real estate, their private investments, their equity stakes, added it all up and sold it right now, today, at current market prices, you would get roughly $10 billion. Keyword, if. Because here's the truth. Most billionaires have almost no cash. Elon Musk, currently the richest human being alive, worth over $650 billion, has publicly described himself multiple times as cash poor. Cash poor. The richest man on earth. Cash poor. So in 2018, when Elon Musk wanted to buy 5 houses, he didn't write a check. He took out $61 million in mortgages. The richest man in the world, taking out a mortgage from Morgan Stanley, just like you. And he's not alone. In 2012, Mark Zuckerberg, at the time worth over $15 billion, refinanced his home with a 1.05% adjustable rate mortgage. Why would a man worth $15 billion take out a home loan? Because his $15 billion wasn't cash. It was Facebook stock, and selling Facebook stock to buy a house would have meant paying capital gains tax, losing shares, weakening his grip on his own company. So instead, he borrowed money, like everyone else. This is the first paradox of billionaire wealth. The number is real. The cash isn't. The paper prison. Let's say you start a company. You pour 10 years of your life into it. You skip vacations. You miss weddings. You eat noodles for dinner 3 nights a week. Then one day, the company goes public. Your 60% stake in the company is now worth $2 billion. Congratulations. You are a billionaire. Except there's something called a lockup period, typically 90 to 180 days after an IPO, where the founders are legally prohibited from selling their shares. So for 6 months, you watch your $2 billion number go up and down on a screen. You can see it. You cannot touch it, because the moment a founder starts selling massive amounts of stock, the market panics. Stock price drops. Your billion becomes $700 million, then $500 million. The very act of trying to access your wealth destroys it. This is the paper prison. In the United States, if you sell shares you've held for more than a year, you pay long-term capital gains tax up to 23.8% federally, plus state taxes that in California can push the total to nearly 40%. So your $2 billion stake? Sell it all. Pay 40% tax. You walk away with $1.2 billion, which is why billionaires don't sell. They borrow. The trick that changes everything. Here's the strategy that keeps billionaires rich, liquid, and almost completely tax-free. It has a name. Buy, borrow, die. Step 1. Buy. You build or buy assets, companies, real estate, stock, things that go up in value over time. You do not sell them, ever. Step 2. Borrow. Instead of selling your assets and paying capital gains tax, you go to a bank and borrow money against them. The bank gives you cash. You spend the cash on your lifestyle, the house, the jet, the yacht, whatever you want. And here's the genius part. Borrowed money is not income. It is not taxed. You haven't sold anything. You haven't realized a gain. You owe the bank money, yes, but your assets keep growing. You are living like royalty, spending borrowed money, and paying almost zero tax. Step 3. Die. When a billionaire dies and passes their assets to their heirs, something called a stepped-up basis kicks in. The heirs inherit the assets at current market value, not what the billionaire paid for them. The entire gain that was never taxed during their lifetime simply disappears. A billionaire buys stock worth $1 million. It grows to $500 million. They borrow against it their entire life. They die. The heirs inherit $500 million, and they only pay taxes on gains from that $500 million price point forward. The original $499 million in gains, taxed at zero. This is legal. This is normal. This is the actual financial system that the world runs on. And this is why the wealth gap doesn't just grow. It compounds every single year. The price of the number. But here's the part nobody talks about. Being paper rich comes with real costs. Costs that aren't in any Forbes article. Your company's stock price is directly tied to your behavior. What you say, what you do, what you tweet at 2 a.m. In 2018, 2018, Elon Musk tweeted, "Funding secured." The SEC didn't find it funny. Tesla's stock swung wildly. Musk was fined $20 million personally and forced to step down as Tesla's chairman. One tweet, $20 million gone. On September 8, 2020, Elon Musk's net worth dropped $16.3 billion in a single day. That is more than most countries' entire annual education budgets. Gone in 24 hours. He didn't feel it in his daily life. His house was still there. But the number on Bloomberg? It just got $16 billion smaller. Your wealth is real and not real simultaneously. So back to that morning. You wake up worth $1.2 billion. You cannot buy breakfast with that number because the same bank that won't let you withdraw $1 billion in cash will absolutely give you a $10 million line of credit against your assets. Your billion isn't in a vault. It's in the system, and the system will always take care of its biggest players. The real insight here isn't that billionaires are secretly broke. It's that money, real money, the kind that actually changes. The world doesn't live in bank accounts. It lives in ownership. Jeff Bezos doesn't have $1 billion in cash. He has a piece of Amazon. Warren Buffett doesn't have cash. He has Berkshire Hathaway. The game was never about accumulating cash. It was always about owning things that generate cash. Forever. You don't need $1 billion to understand this principle. The person who owns 3 rental properties doesn't have $1 billion. But they understand the game. The game is the same at every level. Own things. Borrow against them when you need to spend. Never sell. Buy. Borrow. Die. The only difference between you and the poorest billionaire in the world? Scale. The rules are identical. The world's financial system was not designed for people who understand it. It was designed for people who don't. Now you understand it.